Hey there. So I decided that I was going to do a series of growing your healing focused business. So I'm going to put some very short videos here and I'm going to list them we'll put them in a series. And the reason that I want to do this, because I know so many healing focused entrepreneurs or healing focused business owners or service-based business owners, right, who are coaches and practitioners now in the online space. And you don't really have a business strategy, a structure, or really understand how to run a business. What you have is an amazing skill set. You know how to help people. So I'm going to start off with just giving you one quick takeaway. And I'm going to do this for several days. And I'm going to post them here so that you can have this as a resource for yourself as you begin to grow your business. So this is for those who haven't made their first $50,000 yet in the online space. I want to first share with you the 4 stages of business, or what I have come to recognize as the 4 stages of business. And if you don't understand this one simple thing, it could be what's holding you back. So the first thing is to recognize that when you first start off, you are somewhat of you can call yourself a newbie or an amateur. So you're just kind of figuring it out. You want to know if this is going to be something that you want to do. You want to know if people are going to hire you, right? So you start off with this skill set, the passion to serve, the desire to help people. And you're basically just reaching out to your neighbors and your friends, to people who know you. You might not have a big following yet, or maybe you have a following and you don't know how to monetize them. And so the first thing is to recognize the stage that you're in. That is the first stage. You're curious, you're interested, you want to help, you have the desire. The second step is the soulpreneur, S-O-U-L. And that's basically like, my soul just has to do this. I'm willing to trade service for something else. So I'll give you an example. When I first started my business, the electrician came and hooked up all of my stuff in my building, and his wife tanned and had exercise for free for a year. That was a trade-off. I was a soulpreneur. I was like, I just have to do this. I have to figure it out. I'm willing to do it for free or for a trade-off. I'm willing to exchange something other than money. That's the soulpreneur. The solopreneur is the person who is willing to trade off service for dollar. It's super clean. It's like, okay, it's $1,500. This is what you get. It's $150. This is what you get. It's $5,000. This is what you get. It's really clean and succinct. And there's no trade-off or negotiating. It's actually a very powerful place. And the last stage is the actual entrepreneur. Now, this is the person who has been a solopreneur. They have a product and they're getting ready to scale it. So in other words, you have a system, you know how you can help people even though you're not involved. So in my case, I have an integrative coach training. I have a particular technique that I created, and it's a specific 5-step process in order to help people heal the subconscious. And I have trained coaches in that. So now I don't have to personally be there. I have coaches who can take my work forward. So then it's scalable, right? We can create something where I'm not the only person. And so I scaled my time. In other words, I had a valuable tool that the world needed, and the demand was greater than my time. And so I was able to leverage my time by training other people. So that's the entrepreneur. Think about like Sam's and Walmart and these businesses who have trained other people to be to take their place or to do the work. So it's not necessarily the creator that you are working with. You're working with the creator's process. So the first stage is the amateur or the newbie. And you're just like, you know what? People have always come to me and asked for advice. I know I'd be really good at this. And so you start to ask people, and you can make sales. You can make plenty of money as the amateur. You just want to serve. You want to give your time. You want to give value in advance. And you want to give that personal touch, because that's something the entrepreneur can't do, because the entrepreneur is scaling their time. Now, here's the biggest mistake is when the newbie or the soulpreneur is trying to be the entrepreneur, and the entrepreneur is solving a different problem. So the entrepreneur has like a lot of followers. They have a huge fan base. They have more people that want their service than they have time to give. And the newbie or the amateur actually has more time. They're trying to figure out how to do this. And so you can leverage that by giving the one-on-one personal touch at a higher dollar. Does that make sense? So it's like, not like there's anything wrong with any of the stages. It's just recognize what stage you're in so you can monetize and impact. That's the number one thing. Is you're not in business just to be in business, just to say you're a business owner, right? You're in business because you have something to offer the world that can help to improve things, improve someone's life, or maybe their relationships, right? Something in health, wealth, and relationship generally is what sells in business. And so it's like, if you can recognize where you are in the stage you're on, then you can monetize that particular like the characteristics in that particular thing. So if you're in the soulpreneur phase, you're basically saying like, man, I really need someone to see about my website or help with tech. I'm willing to trade off a session. I'll give you a healing session if you give me this, right? And that's okay. It's a great stage to be in. I see this all the time, but it's not a place that you want to live in. It is not a sustainable business model. So you can't make sustainable wealth that way. Now, the solopreneur, the difference between the solopreneur and the entrepreneur is, I've really debated between these two because I love servicing. I love being in like the scuba diving and the helping people heal. And I thought about it for a long time. I was like, well, actually just making, a couple of $100,000 to $500,000 a year, just trading off service, leveraging out my time is the best, in a way that works for me, and not having a team. Because you sometimes make more money as the solopreneur than the entrepreneur, because as the entrepreneur and scaling and creating a platform, it costs way more. So now you're talking about running ads to cold traffic, and I'm having to upgrade all of my accounts. I'm having to train a team. I'm having to pay people. So the bottom dollar could be the same. It could be less, right? You could do it either way. So what's important is that what you want to do, and you start where you are, and you map out a plan. And every day you just take one action step towards that plan. That's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know below. Comment if you have any questions or you have a topic that you want me to cover. Let me know in the comments. If you are on Facebook, you can come to the More Than Mindset Facebook group. It's a free group and it's being supported by the podcast. So my podcast is also listed here on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and ring the little bell so that you get notifications when I come live. Share with